Morning, guys. Jerry here with our New York open analysis for September 19th, 2019. Let's look at what we've got going on this morning. Last night we had some Aussie employment numbers come out that were they were a little disappointing. And I'll get to that in a minute, but well, I can talk about it now. We see an increase here in the employment change, and which we think would be good. But we see an increase in the unemployment rate, which is normally bad. And in this report, a lot of the improvement in the jobs here were from part-time employment, which doesn't bode well for stability in terms of the long-term employment. So that sold the Aussie off on that report. So I'm bearish on the Aussie this morning, and we're gonna that's the trade I'm looking at for this morning. We had the Japan's monetary policy statement, which was not much there, really, truthfully. We also had the Swiss monetary policy assessment. Not much there either, other than they don't like it when their currency gets highly valued, so they will They talked about it being highly valued and will act as necessary, meaning they'll do things usually other than rate adjustments to make their currency come down. We had pound retail sales, nothing really there. And then we just had the pound bank vote, which was not surprising. It was basically exactly as expected. All eyes as far as the pound goes are on Brexit, and so the central bank really is kind of keeping their powder dry until they see how all that plays out, and I think they might be a bit hesitant to act one way or another, really, because they could be concerned that might influence the direction of Brexit or vice versa. So I think they're just sitting on the sidelines. Traders are really watching Brexit and the developments there for trades. Let's see, and then we've got Philly Fed manufacturing index later today, a red flag, usually not a mover. So that's what we've got going on today. If we look at Zero Hedge, we have, here's the Bank of England summary statements. One thing that was interesting was it said if they do get a smooth Brexit and some recovery in global growth, they're maintaining that its guidance would be appropriate to carry out rate rises at a gradual pace and to a limited extent. So, that's commentary I've been reading is that if we do get a smooth resolution to Brexit, we could see a boom in the pound, just because the economy itself is not doing all that poorly, really. It's just a lot of, and it's actually good in some areas, in many areas, and it's just being weighed on by all this Brexit stuff. So coming on down through, here we go, the morning color. Excuse my voice, I'm still fighting this cold thing. Here we have the stuff about the Swissy, nothing really there. Japan, nothing really there that I could see. Pound, Aussie. Here's the Aussie clear G10 laggard in wake of a worrying Aussie jobs report. that ups the ante for RBA easing next month. So the it wasn't in here, but there was also some commentary about the dollar. The 25 basis point cut from the FOMC yesterday was exactly what was expected. And then there was Powell actually had a little bit of a hawkish tone from the standpoint of he said he sees no need for any additional rate cuts in 2019. And if you, just if that statement by itself in isolation, you would think that would not be all that bullish. But in light of all the other central banks cutting and talking about cuts and that kind of thing, it's actually, relatively speaking, it's somewhat of a hawkish statement. So I think the dollar is going to see some support here for a little while. So that's why I'm looking at Aussie dollar short this morning. So if we jump over to the charts, take a look at that. If you draw some fibs from this significant high down to here, to this low, here's a 50% fib sitting right here. And more and more, I'm starting to just like to play these 50% fibs. They give you, they'll automatically give you a good, or a decent, risk reward ratio instead of taking, like, say, a 38. And then if you take a 38 retracement, you're like, if you did that in this case, your potential reward would be about 30 pips, but your risk, I would have my stop up here because this would be the obvious place. I don't like to put stops where they're obvious. And so you have that's almost a 2-to-1 reverse risk to reward. If you put it here, it's a little better. The 50, of course, here it would be even better. So I'm just going to play this straight out 50% fib right here and look for a move. You can see I've got an order sitting there already. Look for a move back down towards these lows. I'm not going to fight for every pip. This is a pip, 37, 38 pips. If we come up and hit here and the price comes down and we're kind of bouncing around in this level, I'm going to take it off here. So realistically, I may end up getting about 30 pips if I can get down to that area. And then my risk up here, I'm going to go up here with for 55 pips. Now, having said all that, if between now and price getting up to this entry level, if any news comes out contrary to the sentiment in this trade, I'll take it out before we even get our entry. If some bullish Aussie news comes out or some bearish dollar news or tweets or anything, China trade rate related, whatever, and price, starts zooming up here, then I'll just cancel this trade because there would be a clear sentiment shift if it's based on some news, and I don't want to fight that sentiment to try to get back down to my profit. So that's what I'm looking at this morning. Excuse me. Normally what you want is price to just kind of meander its way back up here as a result of just profit taking, not because some significant news came out. Just to be clear on that. So I hope that makes sense. I'll get this posted and I'll see you guys in the room shortly. Thanks.